So my people, that this video that I want you guys to watch, this is a wife of Dr Abati from Arise Television. So she reacted concerning this trending news, this saga between Senator Natasha and Senate President Akpabio. So you guys saw what happened yesterday, how they tried to shut this woman up, how they tried to humiliate her. But I love her courageous and bold she was yesterday. She refused to be humiliated. She refused to be intimidated, to the extent that they rejected the petition that she submitted against a Senate president. So this is the reason why a lot of people are saying that a Senate president needs to step aside so that they can carry out this investigation, because he cannot be a judge in his own case, right? And as well as what the Senate chief whip said yesterday, that Natasha has, accused one governor of sexual harassment before. Even the governor himself came out yesterday and also said that there's nothing like that. And also this talk about, Senator Natasha having 6 children with 6 different men. Like, what does all this thing got to do with the matter at hand, my people? So this is the reason why the wife of Dr Abati, blow hot. Like, you really need to hear what this woman said in this particular video. And as well as what is trending, like what Rufai, Dr Abati, and Oji and Ayo are saying concerning what happened yesterday, in the Senate between Senator Natasha and Senate President. And also what the protesters said yesterday, some of them, they are not even aware, like they don't even know the reason why they are protesting. That was so laughable yesterday. Take a look at these videos, my people. I'm going to be right back.
The story I'm going to take today is the alleged sexual harassment where Chief Whip counters Senator Natasha Petition. This situation for me, let me sit properly, this situation for me is both troubling and deeply disappointing. I was away for 3 weeks. I've been following the news closely. If a sitting senator, Senator Natasha Petition, Udoagu, I hope I pronounced the last name properly, is facing such alleged intimidation and unethical advances from the Senate president, what does that say about the political space for women in Nigeria? We need to keep it real on this platform. When powerful men use their influence to suppress allegations, to silence motions, and manipulate system, the media becomes the last resort for accountability. So Natasha's allegations aren't just personal grievances. They expose the abuse of power in Nigeria, especially when it comes to politics. I'm agitated about this news because Senator Natasha is one of those female figures pushing forward the inclusivity of women in Nigerian politics, and knowing that this month of March, is talking about women in general. So they are currently not up to even 5 female senators out of, I think, 109, if I'm correct, in the Nigerian Senate. This is a small number in a country of over 200 million people. Half of those 4 women effectively represent Nigerian female interests in such a male-dominated space is the question I'm asking now. The power of imbalance is in our faces. We can see the evidence, and Natasha's struggle reflects the greater battle for female political participation. I watched her interview following this saga closely. I've had different perspectives. I have my own opinion, as the reason why I'm talking about it on the trending section today. I watched the video where the chief whip of the Senate was uttering absolute nonsense. Yes, I say it again. Absolute nonsense. The response from Senate Deputy Chief Whip Senator Uweboyi, I don't know if that's his name right now, is even more appalling to me, if you ask me. Instead of addressing the core allegations, it resulted to personal attacks, shaming a woman based on her marital history, her marital challenges and children. The fact that the Senate Deputy Chief Whip came out to spew nonsense, for lack of a better word right now, is absolutely, I don't know the word to use now, because I'm trying to hold my emotions. His statement about Natasha's children and personal life is disgusting to me. Why is it that when a woman stands her ground, the response is always to attack her personal life, her personal affairs, rather than addressing the issue at hand? If Akpabio truly obstructed her motion, made advances. Why is the conversation not about that issue? Why is the conversation about her private life? I ask him pain. The hypocrisy is clear. If a man, let's keep it real on this platform, if a man marries 3 or 5 women, his praise is powerful. Right. If a woman has children from different relationships, she's condemned. What kind of hypocrisy is that? This is the same country where men in power have multiple wives. They opt from one woman to the other. They have mistresses, yet no one questions their ability to lead. The real question remains, why was Senator Natasha's motion on investigating corruption at Ajaokuta Steel Company repeatedly blocked? If the motion was in the interest of the Nigerians, why deny it? These are the issues that need answers, not childish name calling. When Natasha is fighting an important battle, she also needs to be strategic. This is where I think I need to emphasize on this. The challenges Nigerians face are bigger than personal fights now. We have poverty. We have lack of infrastructure in our country. We have insecurity. We have corruption. Name it. It's endless. She must balance her advocacy with a strong, how would I put it now, an issue-based approach to governance so that the public sees beyond these battles. Natasha's case is bigger than just her. Yes, I have an opinion about, how you carry yourself. Sometimes how you carry yourself makes, sometimes leads people on. But listen, that doesn't mean that women don't go through that struggle. It represents the struggle of Nigerian women who dare to step into a male-dominated space. We need more women in politics, and they must be treated with same respect that men are accorded. Men in power must understand that women do not owe them submission or favors or silence, because I think that, this issue at hand is really bigger than Natasha. And I must use this to cap my thoughts right now, because I feel that Natasha, again, must carry herself with dignity. And so that her name will not just end with the narrative of harassment with men. There's so much I believe that she can represent in that corridor of power. So she needs to be strategic about the issue at hand. And what the chief whip said about Natasha, I believe that he owes Natasha an apology, because you do not use women's personal struggles or personal challenges to want to redefine them. Remember, you have a daughter. Remember, you have a mother. And remember, you have a sister in your own front. Let this nonsense stop about women who are representing other women globally.
Reactions trailing the events that unfolded after Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Petition, tendered a sexual harassment petition against Senate President Godswill Akpabio on the floor of the upper legislative chamber on Wednesday during plenary. Natasha moved to submit a petition, standing on Order 10 of privileges.
Again, I'm Senator Natasha Petition, representing the good and virtuous people of Kogi Central. And I stand on privilege 10, Order 10.
No, sorry.
Dear Senate President, please, with due respect, do you mind I have raised an Order 10 privileges, sir, please? I believe, and please, would you stop turning off my microphone? I represent people, and I represent women who have been silenced.
I'm hearing you.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he or she shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that a contempt or breach of privilege has been committed. I stand and I believe herefore, sir, that your denial, your refusal to accept and treat my petition before the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Abuse of my privileges, and I say forth, that this matter is not so, it is not before the court. The matter before the court is on the defamation and cyberbullying statements made by your special assistant on new media, Mr. Patrick Conform, who addressed my decent outfits as transparent, thereby depicting that I walk sedulously and naked to the chambers. That is the nature of the petition, of the case in court. This petition, sir, has never been filed. The petition that alleges, or should I say, accuses you of making sexual harassment moves, abusing your office, and making malicious obstructions to my legislative functions has not been tendered anywhere before, no court in Nigeria.
You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate. So if it may please you, I would humbly step forward and lay this petition. Thank you.
You may proceed.
Well, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has denied ever sexually harassing any woman. Akpabio stated this during plenary, adding that he has the highest regard for women because he and his siblings were raised by their late single mother, who died in 2000 through very difficult times.
However, I would like to state clearly that at no time did I ever attempt any sexual harassment on the said distinguished Senator Akpoti Uduaghan or any other woman, for that matter. I and my siblings were raised very well by my late single mother. She died in year 2000, through very difficult times, and I therefore have the highest regards for women. Even at demise, I still cry till today. I also wish to state that I also have 4 beautiful daughters. So at no time will I ever harass any woman, and I've never done so.
All right. Senator Natasha Akpoti has submitted her petition, which has been thrown out because they said she signed it herself. Tweet from Chigozie, who wrote, while Akpabio has publicly denied the allegations, the submission of a new petition by Senator Natasha indicates that the matter is far from resolved. This highlights the complexities surrounding such accusations where the truth may be multifaceted and not easily discernible. Meanwhile, tensions heightened at the National Assembly on Wednesday as supporters of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan clashed with those backing Senate President Godswill Akpabio. However, some female supporters of Godswill Akpabio didn't even know why they were protesting. This report was from Adeswa Giwa Osake. Let's take a look.
Why are you supporting Senator Akpabio? Yes. Why I'm supporting the I didn't see any harm in what they are saying. So I don't know much about the detail of what they are saying. I'm just supporting him because my mind led me to watch. But you don't know much about what they're saying. I don't know. Do you support Senator Natasha? I don't really know no story about church. You don't know the whole story? So why did you come out here today? Why I came out today that they said it was God looked at them, supposed but that is will remain as our Senate. So he's a good man. So you want him to win the position? Yeah. He's already Senate President. Okay. But why are you supporting Senator Natasha? No. Why? No, I don't want that. You don't want that what? You don't do me anything, but I don't want... Because there are people who say them be stubborn people. So we don't need stubborn people. We want peace. We don't need stubborn people. That is why.
Rufai, you are stubborn. We don't want stubborn people. We don't want, I mean, listen to these women. Dr. Abati, one of them was eating groundnuts. He said maybe
they serve them groundnuts.
Maybe they serve them the groundnuts. Wait, before you dissect all of it, I just want to unpack everything together. Okay. Or do you want to say this one and then... Go ahead, Dr. Abati, with that.
It looks like you have other dimensions.
No, I have other dimensions, but go ahead.
Okay, the first thing, because I noticed that the woman, eating a granite,
yes,
and the woman dancing, maybe they serve their granites there. It's the pitiable thing about Nigeria. There are so many Nigerians that can be hired for just any purpose. Rent a crowd. You have on one side, you know, people who have been hired. They don't know why they have been hired. They just say, make we support Akpabio. Because those other people, they be stubborn people. Who are those stubborn people? And then you listen to some of them, you know, they were carrying designer banners.
Yes.
You know, with Akpabio must resign. Somebody paid for those expensive banners.
Yes.
It couldn't have been that. So you see a lot of people who are idle, who are not engaged. And this is why we keep saying that human capital development should be the primary thing for the Nigerian government, so that people can be meaningfully engaged and they cannot just be hired with either 2,000 or 3,000 naira. This is the same thing that happens during elections, where people are hired and the Nigerian people mortgage their own future.
Well, speaking about
Second
that,
thing,
before we go, let's stick on the protest, then we'll go further on that. Well, meanwhile, this protester has called for Natasha Akpoti to leave the Senate president alone. Let's take a look.
Supporting Akpabio because he's a Senate president. Number two, he's somebody's husband. He's not looking at Natasha. Natasha is just a senator. He doesn't have time with Natasha. Natasha should free Akpabio. Akpabio is somebody's father. He's a grandfather. He's somebody's husband. He's somebody's son. Natasha should face her husband and leave Akpabio alone. A man is free to look at a woman. That is the end. We should stop blackmailing Akpabio.
All right. This woman is saying a man is free to look at anybody. And I think this is... At a woman. Lucre is not a crime. It's not a... It is torturing. It is torturing. Oh, okay.
That's how they say it.
You know, this is the dilemma we are facing here in our society, in our culture, actually, as Africans. So I want to just highlight what sexual harassment means. I thought I should just highlight it because we've had several conversations. And so let's just really unpack what it means. Sexual harassment definition. Sexual harassment refers to unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, or other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature that creates a hostile, intimidating, or offensive environment. It can occur in workplaces, schools, public spaces, or online, and it includes behaviors such as inappropriate touching, suggestive comments, dirty jokes, or coercion. It also symbolizes, you know, when you feel humiliated, when somebody even just, it also adds visibility to it as well. When you look at someone, I've met a woman who's told me that basically this man undressed me with his eyes.
In fact, I was reading Dolly Parton's tribute to her husband, Carl Dean of 60 years, who just passed. And she said that one of the reasons that caught her attention at 18 when they met was that it was the first man she met who was looking at her face when he was talking to her. And we know why, because a number of us know the way that you know, she's buxom in her body structure. And so a lot of men don't even, well, when they meet her, they can't even look at her face, they're looking at something else. So I want to say that, yes, even lookery, sometimes you feel naked, you feel almost assaulted, but that's very difficult to prove, as we often talked about. When someone says, oh, I was sexually harassed, why? Because he was looking at me. How do you then prove that? But there are other instances where you can actually prove suggestive talks. And that's why yesterday I asked Senator Maswen that, are there some jokes that can be said to be taken too far? Because a lot of justification for what people say in the chambers has been put down by Senator Itagiwa, Senator Maswen, and a few others that they just joke a lot. In fact, Dr. Abati then suggested that maybe we need to have a new composition of comedians in the House, since it is jokes and laughter that we have there, you know, in the House, so in the chamber. So it's very important to say, because people don't actually know what sexual harassment is. I have heard all manner of things, especially from men around, oh, but what's the problem there? We're just playing, we're just holding hands. And so it also looks like we have an opportunity in this situation to actually educate people men and women, including that woman that said, was he looking at her? She can't face her husband. It's funny, but not funny. It also highlights the level of ignorance of a lot of people. Look at her defending what is not right with such boldness and such, with a lot of gusto, without even having the fact and saying that she's somebody's husband or somebody. Senator Akpabio is a father, a grandfather. That doesn't preclude people from perpetrating evil or sexual harassment. So we need to get the facts right. One thing I'm happy about, and I'm hoping that even if nothing happens, number one, the water has been stirred. Number two, it's an opportunity for us as a nation to begin to rethink this conversation around sexual harassment, both to men and to women, and educate and enlighten people about it. Number three, it also reveals to us the challenges we have around poverty being weaponized, not just in this case, but in other cases in Nigeria where it's easy. Dr. Abati said 2,000 or 3,000. Some of them were paid 500 or 1,000 naira, or just promises. Because I know Adeswa had said that at the end she saw some of them sharing money, and they were arguing. There are always arguments at this protest. The one they had at Arise too, there were arguments around payment of money and how much was to be paid.
So even quarreling in
they
front of Arise.
They didn't even go to
They didn't have the decency to go away.
And ignorance is one of our biggest challenges in this country.
Right.
Until we tackle it, we'll continue to see this kind of evil happen.
Absolutely. Well, meanwhile, before I come to you, Senator Akpoti Uduaghan received a rousing welcome from her supporters upon arrival. They've been demanding Akpabio's resignation following the accusations. Well, here's a video of one of her supporters.
President Tinubu should call Akpabio to order. Haven't seen him that he's a good ally of Akpabio is his good ally. He should call him to order that we are managing. We have had senators, over 5 senators in this republic, who have not had a voice like Senator Natasha Petition. We fought a sitting governor to ensure Natasha Petition is sent here. He can never be intimidated. She can never be intimidated, not Akpabio. She's here on our mandate.
All right, absolutely. She is there on their mandate.
So, you see, in all of this, the truth has to be said. Investigation must be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where I have seen bias, I have said it. And that's from the Senate Ethics Committee, trying as much as possible, violating a court injunction to be able to sit down on a case where the court says stop, and in the same vein, trying to hide under the guise that the case is in courts. And I've pointed out that bias. There's empirical proof for that. Secondly, the poverty economy, the urgent 2K economy is what you're seeing playing out. Mm-hmm. People will always be infiltrated. Protests will always be, people that have nothing will be used for protests in an economy where unemployment rate is close to 40%, real rate, not this new 5% rate we are doing with this new statistical calculation we're doing. You will see enabling environment for things like that. A lot of them, like you've seen, do not know about what is happening, and they go ahead. But you see, we miss a lot of points in this investigation, and there are many questions we're not asking. Senator Ereti Kingibe did confirm in an interview on Arise TV that Natasha had told her that Senator Akpabio, Senator Natasha Petition had told her that Senator Akpabio did say they should meet in a hotel. Those are substantive matter. We now need to ask further on that meeting. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Also, we need to clear ground for Senator Natasha Petition to be able to bring her facts forward, because the if in a case where our evidence are not strong enough, I will be the first person to come and say it here. Mm-hmm. But she must be given the chance to bring her facts forward. Another thing I'd like to say is that no matter how much we try to protect the institution, or we say protecting the institution, an institution cannot grow beyond the threshold of transparency. For this Senate to show that it can be trusted is to call for an investigation based on Natasha's, allegations. Also, the point that I think I've heard people make that in the public glare of UK people that With due respect, the UK too has their shenanigans in the house. In fact, in the spirit of transparency, I commend Akpabio for what he has done. Also, another point I will quickly make before I wrap up is the point of the fact that the Senate is already tilted towards one side.
Yeah, we saw that.
I would like to speak to the senators today.
We saw that.
This talk about Natasha is not about Natasha alone. Natasha is just a symptom of the hitherto conversations we've had in this country about misogyny. Probably, maybe at some point in the future, the case of Joy Nunia too can come up, and other cases. We need to be able to ask ourselves, is this the country we want to bequeath for the girls yet unborn?
Right. Well, all right. Dr. Abati, you know, I really enjoyed your opening submission when you said that this man is some sort of taboo, the conversation in Nigeria. I mean, in America, there was the Me Too movement that saw a media mogul, Harvey Weinstein, being jailed for multiple rape accusations. And we cannot be in a system where women are unable to speak their truth because of, I don't know, culture or because of, you know, feeling ashamed. This taboo needs to be in the public space. Dr. Abati.
Okay, well, again, to repeat that point, members of the Senate of the Federal Republic, they are called distinguished.
Distinguished,
In fact, some of them are called so distinguished that if you don't know their name, just call them distinguished. They will answer you. You know, the rub of that is that persons who are described as distinguished must also conduct themselves in a distinguished manner. And this is why, you know, the thing that is going on in that National Assembly now doesn't show, you know, members of the National Assembly, you know, showing us that distinction on the basis of which they qualify to be representatives of the Nigerian people. And that, when I use the word extinguished, it was in the context that the Nigerian electorate must be attentive.
Yes.
Any senator that does not represent the people very well, even when you know, the power of recall that is constitutionally guaranteed doesn't work here, when it is the next election, the Nigerian people should know, you know, whoever they want to give the title distinguished to or not. Number two is the point about integrity. And I've been quoting Senator Bukola Saraki. The integrity of that institution is very important. The chairman of the National Assembly is number 3 citizens. His colleagues who are there, they are said to be distinguished people. There is the doctrine of separation of powers. The legislature is a very important arm of government. Persons who are in the legislature at any level, from the National Assembly to the local councils, must also be persons, you know, who conduct themselves in a manner that shows that they are persons of integrity. Number 3 is the point made by Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. He said, I hope I read him correctly, that it is most unfortunate that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that should be talking about laws, that should be talking about development, that should be talking about good governance, that should be addressing the major unresolved issues of the Nigerian nationhood, is now a Senate, a National Assembly, that is discussing frivolities.
Cockatoo.
Yes, cockatoo is an English word, truly. You know, but that they are, you know, focusing on frivolous matters. And somebody said I was working seductively, and somebody said, you know, I did this. Look, this should be a serious hall of, you know, people discussing serious matters. And I think it's a very valid point that Mr. Obi has made. Finally, about, you know, parenting. About privileges. I think we're in a patriarchal society where misogyny reigns supreme. But it's also about how we bring up our boys. A male child is brought up in this society to think that he enjoys special privileges over the female person. And that's why as boys grow, you know, they just acquire this patriarchal attitude. You see a woman, you say, ha, something. I see something. That in itself is a very sexist comment.
Yes.
You know, some people will see a married woman and say, your husband is enjoying you. Your husband alone is enjoying this whole package.
Right.
They do it in Nigeria here.
They do it,
You dare not do it in some other countries. You say it is a joke. No, if you want to joke, go and join Alibaba and receive training.
It's not a joke.
Yes. Or you go and join Bengadi Yinka, CFR.
Basket mouth.
Yeah, or basket mouth.
Yeah.
You know, as we bring up our children, we also need to teach them about social values so that they respect boundaries. And all of this is tied to the fact that the fact that women are an important part of the population, 50%. Now, if they're treated like second-class citizens or they are discounted, then, of course, we won't realize the full potential.
Yes.
The main point is that this is a matter of public interest.
Absolutely.
We want to hear the last of this matter. In fact, it's salacious.
Yes.
And some people find it entertaining, but they want to know the truth. And they want to be sure that all the persons involved are witnesses of truth.
I love your point. I love that. I love your point. Excellent, Dr. Abati. And I just want to, you know, point out again the issue of sexual harassment, because you talked about joke, and which is one thing that Senator Itagiwa made mention here. I think that her understanding of what sexual harassment is quite flawed. I will say that here because she talked about, we in the Senate, we joke, we hold each other, we do that. Sexual harassment is any sexual behavior that makes someone feel humiliated. And you know, like you said, when you go out and people look at you in a certain way, you say, you can't dress like this, you can't wear. No, if you dress up and you are showing skin and a man looks at you and tries to humiliate you, it's the man's fault, not your fault. Just to make that,
like Patrick
just to make that point
wearing
again.
transparent
outfit. No, it's not her.
People don't even know.
No, everything is, like Dr. Abati said, teach your men how to behave. Teach your men how to behave. And I must commend Natasha Akpoti Uduaha's husband, who was there at plenary, and we have a video of her and Chief Emmanuel Uduaha walking into the Senate, and I'd love to quickly play off that video, if we can.
How are you? Come on now.
What? Yes, sexual harassment, yes.
That kiss, does it fall under the category of your definition?
They are married, absolutely married. So it's not. There's no harassment there. That is exactly what they are supposed to do. Yes. They are in love and they drew. I mean, that really is. Just for clarity. Purposes. Again, we need, this is public interest, a matter of public interest. We need to know this situation. It's an absolute serious issue. Well, Rufai, you had a quick message, breaking news that you want to quickly highlight before we move to our good news report.
Thank you so much, Audrey. It was something very painful that happened today. Ikeja Electric, the headquarters was stormed by officers of Air Force. They came in there, they had a back and forth as regards electricity and payment and all of that. And they molested members of staff, destroyed property. That's one of the offices they destroyed. Also, the CEO was chucked up in the trunk of a car and locked up there. No. Barbarity at its finest by Air Force officers. And we need to get to the end of this. We are not in a military gulag any longer. So that's the story. Thank you so much, Audrey.
All right. Well, this needs to be investigated. Like Rufai said, it is breaking news. And hopefully we'll have more details and our reporters will be on the ground to.
So my people, that is it. I hope you guys enjoy watching. Like, we need to keep, talking about this matter because we want to see the end of it. They need to, carry out the investigation to truly know if what Senator Natasha is saying is true. They cannot just dismiss or reject, her petition just like that because of Senate President is involved. This is Nigeria. This is the country we call our own, my people. You guys can see what is happening. I don't care what happened at the end of the day, whether Senator Natasha, win this case or not. But we need to applaud her for coming out to speak out. So, my people, I don't know what you think about what is happening in the Senate, how they are trying to sweep this matter under the carpet, how they are trying to shut Senator Natasha up. So I would love you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this whole matter? Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Yes, I will see you guys in my next one. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Shamra Senior